Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 302 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh. Today, we're going to take a look into the Perry Heights neighborhood. We have a really cool house that we both looked at this week, 4311 Vandelia.
And in our second segment today, we're going to talk about the biggest market movers in Dallas that you cannot avoid looking at.
Some interesting stuff that has really just developed within the last week. You definitely want to tune in and find out what we're talking about. Jeff, spring is sprung.
It is.
What are you going to do?
Time to get outside.
What? Okay, I think this is pretty timely. I'm glad you put this together because I think that we get so much pushback even from locals talking about there's nothing to do outside.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, maybe because we don't have a mountain range or a body of water,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little, you are required to do more work to find it. So we've decided to help you and put a list together.
So here are three outdoor environments you really got to experience. First is Oak Cliff Nature Preserve. This is a really large 121 acre area that has multiple trails on it. I've been on these trails before. It's a lot of fun. You can go bike ride. You can take your dog down there as long as you keep him on a leash. You can just go hike on the trails, and there several that are just. I mean, if you're just getting into it, that small purple trail you can do in probably less than 30 minutes.
That's really cool. I do like the fact that they all link together, and you can pick and choose what you would prefer to be in. One of the other great treasures that is available, and it's probably high season for this one, would be the Trinity River Audubon Center, and this is 10 miles down of downtown. But it feels like a completely different world. It is a great place to go out there, take a look at 6,000 acres of the Trinity Forest. And here's a quick note, is that it is the largest urban hardwood forest in the United States.
In the United States.
So this is a really cool time to go out there and take a look at this because this is when all of the migratory birds have begun to move back in. And we also begin to see a larger number of them nesting. So if you're looking to, I don't know, educate or just get out, this is a great place to do that.
And last of all is the Cedar Ridge Outer Loop. This is another really good outdoor trail. This one's going to take you a couple hours. It is 5.5 miles long. It's not a hard trail. It's a little bit. It's not all flat. I'll say it that way.
It's not, but one of the great things about this one is that as bluebonnets are beginning to bloom, there is a section of this loop that moves through a prairie section, and that is conducive to the growth of bluebonnets. So it's a twofer, so you can get your bluebonnet picture. I think it's funny. Have you ever heard them when they call it pooping on bluebonnets?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
That's so funny.
It's good times.
It is.
Good times.
So Market Watch. Let's see what's going on in the market. Really interesting this week. The market for the spring is picking up. If you look at some of the coming soons might be down a little bit, but the new active listings are still up. We are in that mid-month, so pendings and closings, we're just not going to see the big number of them until next week.
No, and the other thing too that's great about what we're seeing is we're seeing some stabilization within the interest rates. This actually brings a lot of calmness to the market and really gives both buyers and sellers the confidence to step into the market. So great time of the season. I like the way things are headed. This all makes sense to me. I also like that active listings is on pace when you kind of add up both option, pending, and sold. They're not way out of whack. It's a little more on the others, but we're still about a 1-to-1. Good, healthy market right now.
Yep. So what do you want to talk about now?
I want to talk about 4311 Vandelia. This is a treat of a house.
I love the location on this because, as you said earlier, it's in Perry Heights, which is a historic Dallas neighborhood. Although this is not in a historic district,
Correct.
It is still a very historic neighborhood.
So one of the great things about this neighborhood is that it's not large. It is predominantly single-family homes, very walkable. I remember when I first got into real estate, I had a client that wanted to live here, and I went door-to-door knocking. This is one of the neighborhoods where I was actually asked as I walked from street to street who I was and what I was doing. One of the great things in this neighborhood is there is also a park there at the end. So there is a short little trail, good little outdoor playground, and 2 tennis ball courts, which I think one should be converted into pickleball. ASAP,
It's
not
a
sooner.
really, really great park. And you know what? Those tennis courts are used a lot.
I know, but pickleball would be used. I would go out there in the mornings and use them.
Okay.
So this is really convenient to get in and around downtown.
You know what somebody needs to come up with is an instant conversion kit for a tennis court, where it's just like you roll out a mat or you roll out tape or something.
Slap it down.
Yeah, where you can, you just start playing.
If you'd like to buy that, it'll be available in the link below.
Okay.
Just kidding. All right. So what's also in and around this area? Really easy to commute from here. So you've got the Dallas Toll Road that gets you into downtown. Also, if you need to go to Prosper, I'd say quick, but it's 45 minutes up. East to west is also going to be super easy with Douglas Wycliffe. That's a great conversion that direction. And if you're traveling internationally or state to state, Jeff, that gives you the
DFW Airport.
There you are. So great access to the airports, both left field and DFW, as you see here. But this is overall a great house, and some of the things that locals love in this area.
There's a lot for locals to love in this area.
It is. So we had to get creative.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about. We want to talk about Tex-Mex restaurants.
Have to.
Look at how many are right around there.
Some of the best ones there, and some of the favorite small little one that nobody knows about. I'm gonna pick and say is Avila's.
I would agree. That's probably the best one over there. What's the one that's been there forever?
Ojeda's. That's good, but it's just
it's okay.
It's Tex-Mex.
It's a Tex-Mex. It's Tex-Mex.
And where can we find you on Thursday nights?
Gloria's.
Around the corner.
Right.
My favorite fajitas are at Uncle Julio's, but they're ridiculously expensive now.
Yeah, I've been to Julio's in a long time.
And what's the newest one that just opened just around the street?
This is called Eddie's, and it's right at the corner of Inwood and Lemon. This is in the old space where Casa Rosa was, and it's where the old El Phoenix restaurant was.
So apparently it is deeded in there apparently that it can only be a Mexican
right.
restaurant. Oh my gosh. Okay, so one of the other things too that's great in this area is the proximity to American Airlines Center. And the center is a really great place. The Dallas Mavs play there, the Stars play there, but it's also really great for concerts as well. And this is, again, the season when everything really begins to pick up. So
Disney on Ice is coming.
Are you going to that?
No.
Okay. You should ask. I bet Jimmy and Corey should take the girls.
I bet they will.
You know who needs to take them? Auntie Kavita.
And Uncle Jeff.
That'd
be great.
Y'all need to get it together, make that happen.
Katy Perry's coming. That does not say Wham is on tour because that really threw me off a while ago. But that's going to be, there's going to be holograph. Got to be holograph here.
It's too much. Now, one of the super things that locals love in this area is the library bar. This is a great place.
So this is in the Melrose Hotel, right at the corner of Cedar Springs and Oak Lawn. It is, you take a step back in time when you step into the library bar.
So you know, fun little fact that Weston has tied to the library bar?
Please.
Stacey Williams, I'm going to text you and let you know you were mentioned on the show, but Stacey Williams, my sophomore girlfriend in high school, actually used to sing jazz here, and she moved to Tennessee right before I got here. I could have gone and seen her.
You could have.
God, wouldn't that have been amazing?
Yeah, we've been there several times.
All right, so let's jump into 4311 Vandelia Street.
4311 Vandelia Street, a wonderful, wonderful single-family home in Perry Heights. This is about 2,000 square feet. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home with a 2-car garage in the rear, 1-car parking in the front. But I love the fact that this is such a low-maintenance house.
This house is a literal designer redid this home for herself, not for a client. Mm-hmm. And they started at the curb, as you saw. They took and created a retaining wall that allowed for the backfill of that area. And then as you step inside, what an amazing.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
It is gorgeous.
So the Venetian plaster there is around the fireplace, and they've done a little extra where they've created a picture hanging bracket that allows you not to pierce or puncture the Venetian plaster and suspend your art, or as they had, a mirror there. The shelving there that they have is an amazing configuration, also has individual lighting set up as well, and this is a great transition into this dining room.
And I love how they have replaced many of the fixtures in the house, well, actually all of the fixtures in the house. The hardwood floors are the original floors. They have this really interesting matte wax finish on them that you just don't see it very often, but it's beautiful.
And speaking of flooring, this is cork flooring here, which is amazing. During the renovations, they found the old chimney flue there that you see in brick and actually exposed that and cleaned it off. Now it has 2 sinks, which is amazing. And you see here, they've used a wonderful soapstone for the countertops, and that is an Electrolux oven, and it is amazing. I had to turn it on just to check it out.
I would do. So this is the master bedroom. It's really kind of a 2-room master bedroom with bed area, big closet space on both sides there. You've got great shelf storage to one side, closet storage to the left. All of that was custom done for this home. But then there's still more and more storage as you come out.
Absolutely. So this is going to be the master bathroom, and they've got the penny tile around the tub, wallpaper as well. This is so well thought out. All warm neutrals. As you can see here, you've got a steam shower as well that opens right in. This is a really nice configuration. And again, when we say it's a designer, you see why. As the back bedroom has been used now as an office, overlooks the back patio, backyard. It is a great size. And this could either be an additional suite, or it could be used as a living room. And this is the bathroom ensuite in that room.
And I mean, this house is really great for guests because you've got a second bedroom that we're not going to have a picture of here, or even a third bedroom, I guess. But then you've got all of this wood decking coming out off the back. Again, low maintenance yard. You've got a fountain there. You have a nice little guest house. They've really taken a lot of thought and put into how they keep up with this backyard.
And it is so low maintenance. I think it's interesting because they've got an herb garden there as well. They've got copper on the door right there that goes into the 2-car garage that you enter from the alley. They've got wind sails. This is us pulling back. We're looking at on the right-hand side that steps into this 254 square foot apartment that is not included in the current square footage of the home. And it is perfect as they have it set up. Murphy bed.
Mm-hmm. And it's really a wonderful space. And I really like that if you have visitors that you don't really want staying in the house, this can give them their own space outside because they've got a full bath, they've got a little refrigerator there, and I mean, if you wanted to get them a cooktop, a little electric cooktop, it'd be easy to do.
They'd stay too long if you did that, but
True.
This is a really great house. Pella windows almost throughout the entire place. Back fence was replaced in 2019. Gutters have been installed as well. Overall, this house is in impeccable condition.
So this is 4311 Vandelia Street. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, built in 1932. It's 2154 square feet, and it is listed at $925.
There'll be a link in the comments below that you can actually click on and look at all the pictures, zoom in on that map. One of the things we encourage you to do is share it with your friends and family. If this is something that you would like to see, please let us know. It is by appointment only, and we'd be happy to show it to you.
And we want to say thank you to Sally Nobleman for letting us talk about her home today.
And with that, we'll be right back.
Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pew, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. And it's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment, episode 302 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh. And today we're going to talk about some of the Dallas's biggest market movers that you cannot ignore.
There are some factors in the Dallas market that I think, even if there is a recession, I think it's going to push us through. Dallas has always been very resilient.
I would agree with that. I think there are going to be some interesting things, and we've just seen them like in the last 30 days and the last 7 days, shifts, change that. I mean, even the National Home Association of Home Builders is taking a look at some of this stuff. So let's jump into the very first one, which is job growth. And we all know, we base it on the traffic patterns, but there has been so much job growth here. And we're even seeing, we tried to pull data that we thought was relevant and that had some more bones to it. And so we're talking about 64,500 new jobs were added in the last year. And it's an increase just a hair over what it is nationally, from 1.5 to 1.4, which is great. But I feel like it's a lot. If I were saying, I would still feel like we grow more than the national average.
I would agree. Our economy's always been very steady. When a lot of places around the country were having these really ups and downs in their real estate market, ours just kind of grew at that 3 to 4% annual appreciation. It's grown a lot more in the last 8 years, but if you averaged all of that out, I bet we're still close to 3 to 4% appreciation over the last 40 years.
Now, one of the things that I think is really interesting that's different from from Austin, San Antonio, and Houston is the diversity in our employment. So we're not oil, gas, we're not tech, we're a little bit of everything. But one of the interesting things that I saw on this was that financial activities number right there. This is a big indicator that we're going to talk about in just a minute, but there is a lot more happening in that financial market. And there's actually, I believe we have another article that shares what that actually is responsible for from Axios.
And so this talks about Y'all Street, the opening of Y'all Street here in Texas, which is the Texas Stock Exchange.
But it's got even a weirder thing. It's like bless you or something in it. When I was Googling, it's really, it's a lot. But what we're saying here is that we're seeing more and more of this financial development. And it is based on the headquarters are moving here. If you scroll down just a little bit in the article, you'll see where it talks about how Goldman Sachs is building a massive complex near downtown. That's between the...
it's going to be right there by the Victory Park. And
and
the house and
Perot Museum of Science.
Yeah.
So this is really interesting to see how this has really begun to shift. Also, we'll look at the Chase.
I know that. I read that bullet point earlier. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
So we're seeing a lot happening, whether it's Wells Fargo, Deloitte, Charles Schwab. There is a lot more in the financial district.
So mortgage rates have begun to drop to some of the lowest levels in 5 months. We're seeing mortgage rates now at about 6.5%. That was the expectation of where they would be. I mean, they've been as high as 8% in the last year.
They have, and it's interesting that we're seeing this dip and it's creating this increasing activity. 7% in the number of mortgage applications that have just recently happened. And this was actually written on the 12th of this month. You're also seeing financial activity rose 16.2% from a week ago, which...
It seems like a lot. The refinance activity, I mean, you could really just go up from, I mean, if you had 100 last week, you have 116, and that really could just be somebody calling in.
Correct.
So...
Because it's
a bit premature for that.
Agreed. Because 6.5, unless you're stuck at 8, I don't know. It needs to be at least a point or greater.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway, I think that was interesting. I'm not sure if that's just clickbait or what. They didn't cite any sources. The impact of tariffs on home prices. This is the one that kind of has me go. I would say where we saw this happen was when we saw during COVID, when we saw the breakdown in the supply chain, and when things did cost more, how developers did reach back out and added prices. But the big one right here is the lumber that we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, the coming from Canada, I think all told they've got about a 40% tariff on them that started overnight, and that we get 70% of our lumber from Canada.
And this is also causing this huge shift in like the cost of lumber futures. So if we see the cost of metal, if we see the cost of lumber, we see some of these other goods that really begin to increase, you will see a direct change in the pricing of new home sales. So that being said, if you are considering new home sales, I would move sooner than later. That's just me.
Okay.
But yeah. So Lawrence Yun kind of is a great way to wrap up this little segment.
Lawrence Yun is the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors and has had that position for many, many years. Has, I think, a really interesting perspective on what's going on in the real estate industry from a nationwide perspective.
And he really pointed out that the economic influences that are causing the fluctuation, though we are having them, it is still a challenging time. There are rising costs, interest rates, but job-strong growth and limited housing supply continue to support home prices. So I would say that he's giving us probably a B plus for the housing market. And I'll take that because I felt like when we get into an A, it's a little
crazy.
It is a little too churned up.
Yeah, so. I would agree. So I hope you found this interesting. If there's any other detail you'd like us to flow into, we'd be happy to do that.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.